Hi guys, welcome to season 3 of the Quiddity Property Education title splitting course, or podcast I should say. Today we're with Naz and he's going to do something a bit more fun, a bit more challenging for me, but I think it'll be fun for listeners because it's a quick fire session and he's going to put me through my paces. And I warned you, there are things that I won't know the answers to. So Naz, welcome and thank you. And I know you're going to be gleefully taking your chance to put me through my paces. So let's go.
All right. So let's say I have £100,000. What would be your game plan for a title split deal today?
Okay, so if you've got £100,000, you need to think about leverage. So usually I would say to people, 4 times whatever you have is what your budget will be. So you've got £100,000 times that by 4. So roughly speaking, you're looking at a block of flats to the value of around 400,000. Let's say 350,000 because that buys you a little bit of cost to buy it and renovate it. So that's more than enough to buy a block of flats.
Great. Let's pretend we're live on a viewing.
Yeah.
What 3 things are you looking for that tell you this is a great split deal?
Okay. First thing, is it on a freehold straight away? Second, are the utilities split? And the third one is nowadays the fire reg stuff, are the fire alarms and all that stuff compliant? Actually, I'm going to give you 4 because that's important. The tenancies. Have we got any issues that are legally compliant with tenancies?
Great. Okay. I'll say a property type or city,
Yep.
and you tell me if it's a split or skip.
Okay.
Large Victorian house, split in 3 flats, all on one title in Nottingham.
Yeah, we'll split that. We'll buy that.
Okay. Pair of semi-detached houses on a single freehold in Leeds.
Pair of houses. It would depend on the actual price. It's all about the price and how much we're paying for things. But if the price was right, I'd still buy and split it. But ultimately, I think that would be my answer. It's about the price. I will buy anything as long as if the value is there, it's below market value, and we can make money out of it, we'll buy it. But from a title split perspective, it works better when there's more units in the block.
Okay. Commercial unit with 2 flats above, all on one title in Manchester.
Again, we're working on the provider that the price is right. I would say yes, I will buy it and I'll split it.
End of terrace with flats, a side plot big enough for another set of flats in Birmingham.
End of terrace, block of flats with a side land to build another, 100% I will buy in that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Create a fake but believable right move listing for a dream split deal. Location, price, condition, potential.
Bloody hell, that's a great question. So, I want to give two of the ones I'm buying at the moment. One, it's a block of 6 flats in Devon, and the purchase price, I'm going to say, is 650,000, but I'll be willing to accept 600,000, which is what I've actually ended up paying. And the GDV on that one's going to be about £850,000. So you're buying. So my advert should say, amazing opportunity to buy 6 flats at £650,000 asking price with a GDV. If you did decide to split it of around £800,000, the income generator is already somewhere around £3,500 to go up to £4,200 per month.
Okay. I'm going to name a UK city.
Yeah.
Tell me if you do a title split there and why.
Okay.
Hull.
Probably not. The reason why is because not to be too disparaging to Hull, some parts of Hull can be not great, like a lot of the parts of the country. So I will be hesitant to buy in the wrong part of town in any part of the country because the revaluation values of these flats are going to be affected, and that's why we wouldn't do it. Hull or anywhere else for that matter.
Okay. Birmingham.
Same answer. It depends again if the Birmingham's more of a metropolis, more people living there, much more concentrated area, so that the idea of a comparable in your block versus the block which is probably half a mile radius to you is going to be more. So I'm much more likely to buy Birmingham than the Hull one, for example.
Cardiff?
Yes, Cardiff, I would say the same answer as Birmingham, concentrated area, urbanized, lots of more people wanted to live, more demand than there is supply in those areas. And I would prefer a Cardiff than a village in Wales, because in a village in Wales, there's not that many blocks. Comparable is going to be a challenge, and the demand might not be as high. And when you come to valuation, we might struggle.
Reading?
Reading definitely will buy, because it's a community town, it's a commuter town, and actually, the reality is I never bought Reading, even though I wanted to buy it maybe 15 years ago, and I chose Kent area because it was closer to me, but Reading was like on the other side of the M25. And the reason why I didn't buy it was that reason, but I would have bought it and I will still buy it now, even though now it's quite a lot more expensive than it was 15 years ago. But 100% Reading is a good commuter town where demand is high, valuation will be good, and there's enough supply of blocks of flats.
Finally, Milton Keynes.
Same answer actually as Reading, but Milton Keynes nowadays is a lot more expensive than what it used to be, and it's more London prices than it is Hertfordshire or Bedfordshire prices. So whilst I would say yes, I'd buy it, it'd be hard to find a block that is below market value that will allow us to title split.
Okay. Flip the script.
Mm-hmm.
What's one question you wish people would stop asking you about title splitting?
Azid, will this still work after you insert anything in terms of regulation happens? For right now, it's to do with the leasehold reform and the rental reform bill. I wish they'd stop saying, will property investment generally keep being a good strategy to follow? Because the answer is always going to be yes. It's just about what you buy, how much you pay for it, and what the values will be at the end.
Yeah, would you split or skip these examples? Example 1. Price is £325,000, locations Leeds, large 4-storey Victorian building, currently on 1 freehold title. The features: layout already split into 4 self-contained flats, separate kitchens, bathrooms and utility meters in place. Tenants already in situ, potential twist, no individual leases created.
I love these questions, by the way. That's really good. So, would I split it or skip it? I'm going to say more than likely I will split it based on these kind of assumptions. So there are already no leases created. It says here it's on a freehold title. So that's the 2 things. The utilities are split already. That's the 3rd thing. My only kind of question mark is tenant in situ will be an issue when deciding to buy it, because who's managing it and are they legally compliant? And we go through this a lot in the courses to make sure that these are in effect legally compliant. And I'm going to say at a 4 flat at 325 is about £80,000 a flat in Leeds. Depending if it's in a nice part of Leeds, probably should revalue up around 120 or something. And based on that, we will get a 480 GDV, and I would look to pay around 300 for it. So I'd negotiate down to about 300 and then look to revalue it at 480. So yes, I would buy it and split it.
Okay. Scenario 2. Price £210,000 in Cardiff, 2 flats in 1 converted building on a single title. Features: 1 flat recently refurbished, the other one dated condition. Only 1 shared electricity supply, no separate meters.
So the answer is definitely a no. I would skip that because for a couple of reasons. One, actually, there's only 2 flats. So when there's only 2, the value, the discount has to be a lot higher for you to recycle your money out per flat, that is. And the second main reason is because there's only 1 shared electric supply, no separate meters, and I think that's going to be an absolute nightmare, let alone of the cost of working with utility companies, but the hassle factor of actually getting this done. I would skip it because there's way too many easier flats to buy than this one.
Okay. Scenario 3. Looks good, but price £450,000. Liverpool city centre, ground floor commercial unit with 3 flats above, all on the same freehold title. Features: strong rental demand in the area. Flats in good condition, but access is via stairwell inside the commercial unit. Potential twist: commercial tenant on a 7-year lease.
Oh wow, that's a bit of a harder one, Naz. So let's deconstruct this quickly. So £450,000, I get one shop, a commercial unit, and 3 flats above, all in the same freehold. So far, I'm buying because I can split the title, take away the shop away from the residential, and then put the flats separately on their own separate leasehold. I'm buying. Liverpool, yeah, it's city centre. Demand is not an issue for rent. Good condition, which is great. The only problem here, I say, is but access is via stairwell inside the commercial unit. Now, that's the concern I've got. I've got to figure out whether I can tunnel an access to the flats. And you see that a lot. You see the commercial unit, and then there's a door on the end, and then they've basically put a corridor in to then get access to the free flats. My assumption is that's how people are getting in. They can't go through the actual shop. To get in. So if that's the case, 100% we will buy it, making sure that the access is provided to the free flats. The fact that you've got 7-year lease on the commercial is great. My strategy is always about buying the block and then making sure that the free flats above adds enough value for me to take my money out. And then I tend to keep the commercial unit unencumbered unless they are like a Costa, Starbucks, high caliber tenants. Then I'll refinance it out because a lot of banks will lend you the money. But if it's mom and pop, barber, tattooist shop, you're going to find it harder to get commercial lending on it. But ultimately, we will still buy it based on this criteria.
Okay. Scenario 4. Price is 175,000, based in Hull. 3 self-contained flats in one building, all in the same title. Features: flats fully occupied on rolling ASTs. No fire safety upgrades done. Local licensing rules apply. And the potential twist is costly compliance works needed before split.
Okay, can I just read that on because this phone's locked. So I would say on that basis, the fact that there's a lot of works to be done and it's in an area where the value is not going to be that high in Hull, that would be my first concern. But there are 3 flats at 175, so about £60,000 each. That's okay. No safety fire upgrades done. On a block of 3 flats, it's not crazy money. It's a few £1,000s, but it's not crazy money. Potential twist, you say compliance works needs to be done before split. Actually, the way I would do this is I would buy it on a bridge. I will get the works done, the compliance works, the fireworks done. The assumption is the 60 grand per flat is going to go up to about 100 grand per flat. So that the uplifted value is about 90 to 100,000. And then I'll be able to recycle my money out. I will also look at the fully let flat. Who's managing it? Are they legally compliant before we put our money down? And if they're not, we need to see how and whether we can actually fix this or not.